Good morning. So it's Saturday morning. I'm going to do just a very basic but powerful Yoni steam this morning. It is something that I like to do as an overall womb healing and rejuvenating ritual. Something to really restart, get you back, because that stagnant, that gunk, just the energy of the week that can build up so deeply in our womb space, especially when we're stressed and we're holding so much anger, anxiety, grief, rage. We have all these things that we're holding on to so deeply, and we're not releasing them as much as we should be, as quickly as we should be, I guess. A lot of us, me mainly, I'm talking mostly about myself, I have a tendency to hold on to a lot of my grief and my rage and bury it deep down inside, as opposed to letting it release and letting it come because I'm too busy or there's too much going on. So I just hold on to it, and then it becomes outbursts at different points in times. And that's something I'm trying to get really better at not doing. Sorry, my hair is driving me insane. I've been awake for a while, but I just got ready. I'm not even fully ready yet. Okay, so for a Yoni steam, you can use any plants, any herbs that you want. I recommend using dry herbs because their dryness, that potency, the release is going to be a lot easier from the natural elements that are coming from the plant, as opposed to fresh herbs. Fresh herbs tend to need to be steeped longer in hot water to really be able to release a lot of the components in it. But it's up to you. There's literally no right or wrong way in this practice. This is a very personalized practice. If you go to a womb healer, I am a certified womb healer, so I do Yoni steams for clients, and I help them build a practice on their own and a ritual on their own. But if it is something that you are wanting to do and build a practice and a ritual on your own, you really kind of need to narrow down what is going on with you at that moment in time. Are you having a lot of odd discharge? Are you having weird smells? Are you having a lot of physical symptoms that are impacting you? Or are they all emotional? Are you having a lot of sensitivity and emotional issues going on, things that are being held down in there that need to be released? So before you Yoni steam, my recommendation is to make a list. Make a list. I mean, you don't have to actually write it down if you don't want to, but just make a list and kind of narrow down what's going on. What is bothering you? What is affecting you at this time? What do you need to really be realized as you're doing this? Because this isn't just a physical practice. This is a spiritual practice. This is it's a spiritual practice. It is a healing practice. Like, this is something that you do not just for any physical relief of symptoms, which you can. It is physical. I try not to get too much into that for certain circumstances because I'm not a doctor, but I am a certified womb healer, and I do have my own sense of knowledge as a healer. But I digress. I try not to go too deep into the medical aspects of it because there's a lot of debate on Yoni steaming in the medical world as far as if it's safe, if it's not safe, things like that. So I really mainly focus on the spiritual aspects of it and the emotional healing aspects of it. So make a list, really kind of narrow down what's bothering you, what's affecting you at this time, what is causing you pain. Are you having so much emotional grief and rage that you're holding in your womb space that's causing you actual physical symptoms? So really narrow that down. Once you narrow that down and you can decide and really have a point on what this practice is going to be for to help you with that healing, then you can start looking into the herbs and really finding that correspondence on what plants are going to be best for you. Right now, I'm having a lot of lower back pain. I'm having a lot of stress and a lot of tension and a lot of just angst in my womb space because I'm holding on to so much stress and I have so much grief and rage built up within me. So because of that, some of the herbs that I'm going to be using today are things like lavender. Lavender is a really good herb for this because of the essential oils it releases. It's antibacterial. As that releases, it not only calms the space, it soothes, it helps release with any sort of inflammation and deep pain and trauma that you have deep within. The senses are not only going deep down within your womb, but you're also able to smell the herbs as you're doing this, and it can just overall help relax you. Peppermint, same thing. cleansing herb. It's an antibacterial herb, but it's also soothing, calming, relaxing. So I'm really focusing on the stress aspect of my womb space and my yoni. I have so much stress and I have so much anger kind of built up right now in this moment in time. So I'm focusing on herbs that are going to help me in that. Then, of course, rose. No matter what's going on when I'm doing a yoni steam, I use rose. That is a personal preference for me. You don't have to use rose, but rose, for obvious reasons, for me, I use it because the rose plant is very much associated with the yoni, with the womb space. If you are already initiated into the rose lineage, then you most likely are going to want to use rose as well. The rose lineage is the lineage of Mary Magdalene and womb healing. That is something that I have not discussed really very much online. So that is something that I probably will be discussing more. But if you are initiated into the rose lineage, as I am, or if you are a follower of Cibele or Venus, I am a daughter of Cibele. So again, you might want to use rose regularly if you're working with your womb space and you are initiated or a follower of either of those mothers. The next plant that I use is blue vervain. Blue vervain it's a type of vervain, but it is very much associated with Isis. So again, if we're talking about that rose lineage path, that might be an herb that you want to use. Blue vervain has a lot of properties when we're talking about sexuality and eroticism and sensuality, the way it works deep down in that heart and soul and the depths. So it is a very potent plant. It's one of my absolute favorite plants of all time. It's something that I grow. Most of these plants, except for the lavender, and the peppermint, these plants I grow. Oh, sorry. So for the lavender, the peppermint, and the ginger, I didn't grow those, but the rest of these I grow. So this was from my garden. This is a it comes in stalks. Sorry, it was in the thing, so I can't. Oh, here goes my raspberry leaf. Yeah, it comes in stalks. I actually have a stalk of blue vervain tattooed on my leg, along with another type of vervain and rue. But blue vervain is a very potent plant. I really connect deeply with the aspects of sexuality and eroticism when I work with blue vervain. It just has that sense of that dark mistress to me. So very much connected to Isis. Yeah. So it's dried, so it's obviously not as pretty, but the flowers are these really bright blue, beautiful colored flowers. So I don't know, maybe if it pops back up this year, I'll show you guys. But I already have it out, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put it in here and just crumble it up. I know a lot of people when they're making things and they're using their herbs, they just use the plant portion, and they don't use the stalks or I think that's dumb. It's all part of the plant, so it has different, obviously the stalks or the roots, they have different sets of properties a lot of the times. Look at those ones. Yeah. They still have a bluish tint to them. But it's all important. It's all part of it. Okay, so blue vervain. Oh, my water's boiling, my water's boiling, so that's all set and ready. So rose, lavender, peppermint, blue vervain, rosemary, obvious. It's rosemary, it's a very strong, potent plant, strong sense of cleansing, sense of clearing, very relaxing. Rosemary is a plant that I use for most things. If I'm doing a healing ritual, if I'm working with a client, if I'm doing anything as far as like a yoni steam or a yoni smoke cleanse, fumigate, anything like that, I usually add rosemary to it because it is so important to me and in my practice and in my culture. So I do have, like I said, a knob of ginger here. So the knob of ginger, I'm just going to put in, I'm going to probably bash it up a little bit. Okay, so I have a knob of ginger. I just went ahead, I paused you guys for a second, and I beat it. I just pounded it a bit because it is dried, but it's still really potent. So I beat it, cut it up a little bit, sliced it, I irritated it. So that way when the water hits it, it's going to be able to really penetrate it a lot easier than if I didn't. All right. I just realized how pale I look. I'm usually not this pale. All right. So one of the last herbs that I have, sorry, I have a really sharp knife right here on my face. I probably shouldn't do that because it's dangerous. One of the last herbs that I have here is actually some strawberry leaf. I said raspberry leaf a minute ago, and I didn't mean to say raspberry leaf. It's strawberry leaves from my garden. We planted strawberry plants like 10 years ago, and almost every single year they would pop back up just so beautifully. I don't know if they're going to pop back up this year or not, because I haven't, the past year and a half to 2 years, I have not taken very good care of my garden because there's been so much going on, and I've been just overwhelmed and overworked and not giving myself time to really enjoy. So I hopefully this year, though that's different, I'll be able to dedicate more time to it. So we shall see if the strawberries do pop back up. Definitely let you know. But this is strawberry leaf. So I am going to add that to the Yoni steam. This is a cluster of them. Such a beautiful grass in there. And it's literally straight from my garden, dried and ready. Like no other middleman. Nothing. I'm making a mess though, so that's alright. As long as I clean it up, it's okay. Okay. Alright, now I'm gonna add the herbs that I didn't add already, because I was just kind of talking and not adding. Okay, so peppermint. I really like peppermint. I think it just, overall, I think it's a great herb. So I'm going to add a lot. I'm actually going to add most of it. Alright, lavender. My mom, growing up, my mom, she loved lavender. I'm just going to add all of it because it's not that much left. She loved lavender. It was her favorite scent. So I remember when I was a kid, every Christmas or her birthday, people would always buy her lavender scented everything. And I will never forget, a couple years ago, like 10 years ago or so, it was like a Christmas or birthday. And one of her friends gave her like this bath set thing. And it was all lavender scented stuff. And she was like, oh, thank you so much. Like, she was so thankful and like grateful. We got home and she just kind of looked at it and she went, and I was like, what's the matter? Like, you love lavender. She goes, I did. And I was like, what do you mean you did? She goes, I did until about 6 years ago when that's the only thing anybody ever buys me anymore. It's literally the only thing anybody has ever bought her is lavender scented bath and body wash for like 30 years. Like my entire life. This was not that long ago. And she showed me in her closet. Like she literally had rows. Like she uses them, but like I was like, oh. Okay, like I understand. Like she's grateful. Like she wasn't saying it in an ungrateful way. She was just saying it in like a I'm sick of it now. And I was like, I understand that. That sucks. I'm so sorry. So now it's just so funny every time I see lavender. That's what I think about is how sick of it like she is. Okay. Roses, in my opinion, one of the most, I know they're falling into the bowl, it's okay. One of the most it's real roses too. It's not like store-bought bouquet of crap. I don't know. I think these were roses from my garden, maybe? I don't remember. They were either from my garden or roses that I harvested. Okay. Actually, I'm going to add more blue vervain. I really want to bring in the eroticism, sensuality, sexy, like this, you know, as a womb healer, like this is what I do. This is my passion. And really, I'm not just a womb healer. It's my training is as a womb healer, but it's also as a somatic sex educator. And it's really important to me to help those around me and those who are looking for services to understand the strength and the beauty, of what womb healing is, and their sexuality, their sensuality. It's important. Okay. All right. Just breaking it all up. Oh, God. So this bowl is actually a very sacred bowl for me. This is my sacred practice bowl. Like, this bowl, it is only for ritual. It is only for healings. If I'm doing a malocchio cure, this bowl. If I'm doing a womb healing, this bowl. If I'm doing my getting ready for San Giovanni, L'Agua de San Giovanni on summer solstice, this bowl. Like, this bowl has been with me for years, and it is a very sacred and powerful bowl. There is no other bowl that I would use for any sort of sacred practice like this. I don't typically burn anything in it. This is my water bowl, and then I have a burning bowl. It's literally what I call it. It's my burning bowl. It's not a cauldron, but yeah. Okay, so now is the time for the practice. So my hot water is boiled. Everything is ready and is set. So what I do, there's different ways of doing a yoni steam. So I wear a skirt. As you can see, I wear a skirt. You can wear a robe. You can wear nothing. Like, you don't have to wear anything. You can just free flow. You know, that's my favorite way. But really, you just want to be open. You want to be open and ready, so you can be ready to release whatever comes up, and you can be ready to absorb that healing. I will say yoni steaming is something that I do feel in the beginning. It really is important to have support, because it can bring up a lot, and it's a very intense, powerful practice. And so if it is something you are new to, I strongly suggest contacting a womb healer, getting in touch with a womb healer, having some sort of support in these sort of situations because of the practice and the way it works. And I'll probably make another video about that and just explaining what I mean. But as a womb healer, I have, over the years of practice and dedication I've put into this work, it has really opened my eyes and made me realize how deeply trauma and grief is ingrained in this type of work. So when we're talking about womb healing and we're talking about somatic dance, or just anything in general, yoni practices, especially anybody with the vulva, a womb, there's a lot of grief and a lot of trauma held in those areas, and a lot of trauma and grief that has been denied. And what I mean by that is, over the years, when you experience things, we've been taught to just deny it. We've been taught to not discuss it. We've been taught to pretend it doesn't exist. We've been taught to bury it deep down, not talk about it. So it's something that has been denied release. And it can be hard, and it can be traumatic, and it can really bring up a lot when you're doing these types of practices. Whenever you start doing any sort of sacred touch, whenever you start doing any sort of mirror work, or working with a Yoni egg or a Yoni steam, these are all practices that I do for myself and with clients, and it can be hard. It can definitely bring up a lot for people. So I recommend you finding support if this is something you would like to start doing. Of course, you don't have to. So your prerogative. It's just my suggestion as a womb healer. So what I do is I take this bowl, I add my boiling water to it. I go in my sacred space. I will either light candles and incense or not like anything at all. I like to sit in the sunlight, and I will take a towel, a robe or something, and I wrap it around the bowl like this. Hold on. This is not the towel I use, this is my dish towel. But I wrap the towel or robe or something like this. So when I sit, I put it in between. I literally sit this on the ground, wrap the robe or anything around it. I hike my skirt up, and I get on all fours. And I place my yoni, my womb, over top of this bowl. So the steam, and I keep my legs open so then the steam can rise up and enter. You definitely want to have a good clearance. So I do not suggest sitting directly on the hot bowl. You could burn yourself pretty badly, actually. You could burn your legs, you could burn your labia, you could burn anything. I don't suggest doing that. So definitely keeping a distance from the bottom, but you do want to have something around your bottom portion. That's usually why I recommend a skirt or a robe instead of doing it completely naked. You can, and then just wrap yourself with a blanket. I've definitely done that a million times. So either or, but the whole point is that you want to keep everything blocked so the steam isn't going out, it's going up. So keeping it a safe distance, putting something around here so you don't burn yourself on the bowl itself, making sure you're not too close to the hot water and the steam so you don't burn your vagina, and then also keeping a towel or something around you so then that way the steam isn't going out every which way. Those are my tips. This is how I create my Saturday morning, still morning, Yoni steam. That would have been really bad. So I'm going to go steam. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go pray and write and work on my everything. I have a lot of stuff coming up that I really, really want to share more of. And So thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask. If you would like to book a consult with me, feel free to reach out to me on DM because I am updating my website at the moment and making some new forms of contact. Also, if you would like to join my email list where I send out all the information for my monthly womb healing full moon ceremonies and my monthly rage raves. They are both free. So please just let me know if you'd like to join my email list and I can add you to that, and then you would receive the links on all that information. Okay, thank you guys. Blessing. Ciao.